Hi guys, welcome to Hope with Jonathan podcast. And on this podcast, we will share the patient's personal story with battling kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, and more. Guys, we'll also share stories of hope and encouragement for those that are in need of a living kidney donor. We will also advocate for them, a living donor, to step forward to give them the miracle gift of life of transplant. Guys, based upon my personal near-death experience with kidney disease, I started this streaming show called Hope with Jonathan, and also this podcast, Hope with Jonathan Podcast. Guys, if you want to hear more stories like this, please stay tuned. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Never let hope become a memory. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Hope with Jonathan podcast is in collaboration with Impact America Media, where we give hope to patients to continue on, stay motivated, inspire, and encourage them to continue in the journey. For more information on Impact America Media, please visit impactamericamedia.com. Again, Hope with Jonathan podcast is in collaboration with Impact America Media. Hey guys, this is Jonathan, the host of the Hope with Jonathan podcast. And hey guys, Hope with Jonathan now has a website, www.hopewithjonathan.com, where you can go over and find out where to follow us on all of our social media links, our podcast, our YouTube channel, and much more. Again, guys, for more information on Hope with Jonathan, you can go to www.hopewithjonathan.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hope with Jonathan podcast, and I'm your host, Jonathan Traylor. Hey guys, this podcast is coming to you on the actual day of Halloween. So, hey guys, all you trick-or-treaters out there, everyone, have a very, very safe and fun Halloween. And hope you guys don't eat too much sweet stuff. And hopefully you guys get back on your normal routine, eating all the healthy, good stuff that's good for you. But every once in a while, you got to fall off the wagon and enjoy something sweet. But hey guys, again, y'all stay safe out there and have fun with it. But hey guys, on this week's episode of Hope with Jonathan podcast, we feature a whole different story. So Hope with Jonathan is pretty much a dynamic centered around kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, kidney failure, renal diet, all type of different stories that are centered around kidney disease. So that's pretty much what Hope with Jonathan is about. As a matter of fact, we're launching a whole new format of podcasting over on another channel that we're calling Hope Stories Podcast. That podcast will now feature warriors just like what we're about to talk about. Whether you've been through a traumatic event in life, whether you've been through kidney failure, or maybe you've been through liver disease, maybe you've been through a traumatic divorce, or maybe you went through a life-changing event that really changed your life, maybe a near-death experience, or something just very traumatic. That's what Hope Stories Podcast is going to be about. So we're gonna leave Hope with Jonathan centered around kidney disease. That's really where my heart's at, because I'm a kidney disease patient, and kidney transplant recipient, a grateful kidney transplant recipient. But from now on, if we have any stories, which we do welcome any other warriors. I mean, Hope with Jonathan can be pretty much anything, but I like to keep it centered around kidney disease because it's basically based on my near-death experience and with kidney failure, and it's pretty much centered around kidney disease. And it's no disrespect to anybody else. It's just I want that podcast, I want that show to be centered around Hope with Jonathan. So this interview actually gave me the ideal to create another podcast and another forum, another format, another way to share stories. So if you come to us and you want to share your story, we have another format for you to share that story on, and we're going to call it Hope Stories Podcast. I've already done one podcast on there where I kind of shared my story. If you haven't already went over and listened to it, it'd be great if you would. It's on Anchors, should be on Spotify, Apple. I actually have a YouTube channel for it as well. And we'll be doing more with it as people come that want to share their story, share their warrior story with us. But anyway, I want to roll into this podcast because this was an incredible journey. And yes, this patient is a liver disease. I believe he's a 2-time liver transplant recipient, which is incredible. And this guy's got an incredible story. His name's John Hoffman. He is a new author. His book has been out for a bit now, but he's got an incredible book. And we talk about this inside of the interview, so you'll hear all about it in there and where you can find it and all that stuff. But John Hoffman, 2-time liver transplant recipient, incredible journey, incredible story. Man, I mean, he seemed like a really awesome individual when we talked, and really impactful story here. So again, guys, I hope you guys will listen to this and enjoy it. Again, guys, we do appreciate anyone's story on Hope with Jonathan, and we do appreciate for John Hoffman, for reaching out to us and wanting to share his warrior story with us. Again, from now on, we will only share kidney disease stories on this channel in particular, but we do offer another format now for warriors out there that want to share their story, regardless if you're involved with whatever, cancer, maybe you're a lung transplant recipient, maybe you're a heart transplant recipient. We're going to feature stories over there like that on that platform. So I've got a Facebook channel already for it. I've got an Instagram page, Twitter page. So some of y'all have already followed it over there. So yeah, that's what that's all about. Is we're just offering another platform for warriors to share their story other than on Hope with Jonathan. And our focus is still on, kidney disease, but definitely am excited that John contacted us and wanted to share his incredible journey. And so guys, listen, I'm going to let you guys roll into this live interview, and I hope you guys enjoy this. It's a great listen. You're going to find out a lot of great information about liver disease and liver failure, and John's incredible story. Also, like I said, he's got a book out, which is an awesome book, and he tells you all about it in this interview. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Hope with Jonathan podcast. Hope you guys get an opportunity to subscribe to us over on YouTube. Also, please go check us out over on hopewithjonathan.com. We have ways that you can support us. You can actually listen to this podcast over there. You have the opportunity to watch live interviews. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to help us support us, you can actually donate to us. You can actually purchase some merch so that you get something for your bang for your buck. So that if you do decide to support us and purchase some merch, I'll just let you know that all proceeds go right back into Hope with Jonathan to cover some of the streaming costs and software costs that we're doing and utilizing for Hope with Jonathan to get the message out there. But again, guys, appreciate all your support. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. And like I said, enjoy your Halloween. Please be safe. Take care. Most of all, take care of your kidneys. God bless. This is Jonathan. Hey guys, welcome back to Hope with Jonathan, and I'm your host, Jonathan Traylor. Hey guys, we have a very, very special show for you tonight. Really appreciate everybody watching tonight, and I really hope that you guys will enjoy this interview that we have tonight with a Mr. John Hoffman, two-time liver transplant recipient, and he's an author, guys. He's got a brand new book out. I'm going to let him come on and share his personal journey with his liver transplant experience, and also becoming an author as well. And it's going to be an amazing interview. If you guys would, to support this interview, if you would share this interview with your friends and family. Also, if you guys would take the opportunity to go over and smash that subscribe button to share and further get out these warrior stories that we're sharing here on Hope with Jonathan. It would mean a whole lot if you guys would go over and subscribe to our channel. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our guest. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. You guys have been awesome. All of our supporters, all of our sponsors, everyone that's involved with Hope with Jonathan. I really appreciate everyone's feedback and support. It has been amazing. But again, guys, we're going to introduce our special guest and bring him to the show, guys. You guys get ready for an awesome interview with Mr. John Hoffman. Hey, John, how's it going tonight?
Good. How are you? I like that little intro. That's neat.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I definitely appreciate you coming on and doing the show with me tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Well, I'm going to let you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself and, tell a little bit about yourself if you want to, and go right on ahead, sir.
Okay. My name is John Hoffman. I am a native of Connecticut. I live there with my wife and my 3 kids. They're 10, 7, and 4. I had biliary atresia diagnosed when I was about 6 months old. That is a breaking down of the bile ducts of the liver. So I was referred to a gastroenterologist who did some further tests and basically decided that I could either have a liver transplant. That was pretty much my only option. There were some procedures that can kind of prolong my life and try to get me to that transplant, but that was pretty much my option. And at that point, transplantation was pretty experimental. This was 1983. So at that point, I was put on the list to get a transplant, and I was under the care of my gastroenterologist, waiting to receive a liver. There were many complications during that time. I got septic. There were other complications, but I managed to pull through and hang on, and I got my transplant January 1983. And after that, I lived a pretty much a normal childhood. I grew up in Connecticut, had great friends, had a great experience. I played sports, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't till probably when I was around 13 or 14 that my liver numbers started to increase. And it was kind of due to my liver breaking down, and the bile ducts that were connected were breaking down due to the fact that I was so small and things were so experimental. It was really, kind of just a force of nature at that point. So my same gastroenterologist, he kind of reintroduced the possibility to me and my parents, and it was really a shock that I would have to get another one, because I didn't go through it the first time. I was a baby, but my parents, remembered it very well. So it was definitely a shock for them and something that they were not prepared for. Hi, Melissa. So I waited. I was on the list. I waited till the summer before my senior year in high school. That's when I got the call. I went back to, I didn't mention this, but I was transplanted at Pittsburgh the first time, and I went back to Pittsburgh the second time. Much quicker recovery this time. Obviously, they've made incredible advances by this point. This was 1999. I stayed in Pittsburgh for about 2 weeks, and then I came home, and my body had changed completely. There were things my liver was preventing me from doing, and after that, I just kind of blossomed. I gained 15, 20 pounds. I could hit a golf ball farther than I ever could. I had a huge appetite. I ate a lot more than I ever did.
Yeah.
And I kind of moved on with my senior year of high school. So medically, I was great. I was a success story, but mentally and emotionally, I was having a lot of trouble. There are not too many kids my age. This is before social media. There were not many kids my age who had been through something like this and who knew, things that I did. Fortunately, I had a great group of friends that had stuck with me and actually visited me when I was in Pittsburgh. So I made it through high school all right. I did some stuff. We did some good stuff. We went to Canada after we graduated just to have fun, and that was great. Right. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, but I got a good friend in Toronto.
So, okay. Yeah, we visited Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. So it was a lot of fun. Yep. But so even during that time, I was kind of adjusting to this life. The fact that I had been given 2 chances, 3 chances at life, and was trying to make the most of it, but couldn't really find my way. So I went into college undeclared. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Struggled a lot. Ended up moving out of the dorms and coming back home and commuting. That kind of didn't sit right with me either. It wasn't until I went to one of my gastroenterology appointments that he looked at me and he said, "You're just not right." He said, "I don't know what it is, but there's something about you that just isn't right." And I was pissed off at him for saying it. And I said, "I'm fine, all this stuff." But that's when I kind of realized that, something isn't right. Yeah. So I started going to therapy and diagnosed with depression and trying to make sense of, what I'd been given and how to live the best life I could. Yeah. And, thankfully I was able to get back on my feet and get a job and married my wife, had some kids. And it was about 4 years ago that I kind of had an epiphany, and I said, you know what? The only way to really, do justice for these donors is to share what I've been through and to, just like you're doing, try to give hope to people that may be in the same situation. So
Absolutely.
I contacted a ghostwriter, to help me put everything into words. I had been told for years and years and years all these stories about when I was a baby and how I survived and all this stuff. I had even doctors that knew me back then calling me a miracle. And it's bizarre, to have somebody tell you that when you don't even, know what you're doing at that point, what you were doing with your life. So
Right.
this is what kind of inspired me to start putting it all down and to get it all put together. And
Sure.
that started the journey. I created a blog, to kind of share my thoughts and also start to promote the book when it was going to come out.
Yeah.
That's the short version.
That's the short version. Yeah, I can definitely relate with you because of course, in my case, I was a kidney failure
Mhm.
patient, and I went into an emergency kidney failure,
Mm.
and I just nearly passed away, just nearly
Mm.
died from it, and
Really?
so words like miracle were surrounding me, even when the medical community starts using words like miracle, then
Yeah,
you're a miracle.
absolutely.
Yeah, and so I can relate. And sometimes when I think about it, I can process it better now. But early on, I was just kind of like, man, that it was just a wild, life altering event,
Hmm.
that totally changed my life. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do now is because
Absolutely.
if you'd have told me 5 years ago that you'd have a show and you're talking with other people about their life experience, I would have been like, yeah, right. But, kidney disease just totally spin me around 360,
Absolutely.
or more like 180, and
Yeah.
turn me into a whole nother person, different direction. And I'm actually really thankful for the experience. I really,
Yeah. That's the only way to think
because
about it.
it changed
Absolutely.
me and made me, yeah, it made me a better person,
Hmm.
for the positive. So, but I've got a question. So the donors are with the liver. Were they deceased, or were they living donors, or how did that work?
No, yeah, there was no, especially in 1983, there were no living donors. So yeah, there was a young child that had to pass away in order for me to survive. And
Yeah,
I can't really speak to 1999, but I don't think they were doing much of that with livers anyway. Kidneys
yeah.
maybe, but yeah. So yeah, in both cases, that was something that had to
Cool.
happen.
And then the follow up with that is with the like, you're on immune immune
Hmm.
suppressant medication. Which ones did they put you on? I'm just wondering.
This is I'm on Prograf. I'm actually on the generic, which is tacrolimus.
Okay,
Hmm.
and that's the only one that you're on, just the
The
Prograf.
only immunosuppressant, yeah. Yeah, I take a
Okay,
blood pressure medication to kind of counteract the side effects of that.
yeah.
But as far
And
as,
what
yeah,
about like prednisone or anything like that?
no, I'm fortunate enough not to be on prednisone. I
Yeah,
have had cases where when I was younger, of rejection and things like that, where I did have to go on prednisone. That is an absolute monster of a drug. It's not
yeah,
fun at all.
yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah, a lot of people that are on it in the kidney community, they talk a lot about roid rage, and
Oh yeah,
alters your mood, and
it
causes
does.
you to eat a lot.
Hmm.
People talk about their bones having a lot of problems with their bones and stuff, with their joints aching and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah, it's
my
very effective, but it's also not fun.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, my program didn't believe in starting patients on it if you hadn't already been on it
Okay.
pre transplant. So
Hmm.
post transplant, they didn't put me on it at all. So I'm actually grateful that they didn't, because of everything that I've heard from it.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, it's no
but
joke.
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about support, like
Hmm.
along the way, because when you're battling a chronic illness, whether it's kidney disease or liver disease, you definitely need a strong support. And so
Absolutely.
why don't you talk a little bit where you get your support from?
Well, first off, I get it from my parents. They had been through it the first time. They survived, having a child that was gravely ill, and they've always been my first support system. Um,
Hmm.
as I told you, throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, I had pretty much the same group of core friends. There are two guys that pretty much I knew my entire life, and they were always it was never really an issue with them. You know, I didn't really have to talk about it. It was just there, but I was their friend, and I was a normal guy to them, which was great. And I actually met who's now my wife, but I met her in middle school, and we dated then, and we dated in high school, and we've been together ever since. So she now is definitely a big support. And also
Absolutely.
my sister, she's also a big support as well.
Yeah.
She's kind of helping me promote and do things like that, you know.
Yeah.
She's good with the social media stuff, which I am not. But yeah, those are
Absolutely.
my main supports. And always my GI doctor I saw until I was 21, his office was always very helpful and very supportive, and always with information, always being honest. So that was also
Sure.
key.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Sounds like you got a lot of influential people that are in your life, and that's amazing. I know family is always a great support. A lot of people don't have family, when they battle a chronic
I know.
illness. And I sometimes my mind goes back to different stories that I've heard about that, and I think about, wow, I don't know how they faced, such
I know. I
a
can't
life
imagine.
changing event. So
Yeah.
yeah. It would definitely make it a lot harder, and that's why it's so important, I think, for like support groups and things like
Hmm.
that, and talking with other people, sharing your story, and
Absolutely.
relating with other patients that have similar experiences.
Hmm.
Are you a part of any kind of a social any kind of like a group maybe that you interact with, or any kind of advocacy group maybe that you're interacting with?
Yeah, I belong to a couple of groups on Facebook. There's a couple of liver transplant survivors. There's a pediatric 20+ year transplant survivor that I'm a part of, and it's just great to read other people's stories. I mean, when I was young, I had never heard of anybody else who had biliary atresia, and now I know, two or three of them. It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to relate with somebody else.
Hmm.
You pick out things that similarities that you guys have both encountered. I know in the kidney disease community, all of our stories are similar because of kidney disease,
Hmm.
but a lot of them are different because of the way
Absolutely.
that they ended up with kidney disease. Because there's different ways that you can contract it, but
Hmm.
it's always nice to be able to relate with other people. I kind of wish we could have got Will's Porter on here, because he was a liver transplant recipient as
Hmm.
well. He's got an amazing story, but he's involved in a program right now that he's doing. I think it's a camp that he
Oh, that's
volunteered with.
great. Absolutely.
Yeah, but so let's talk a little bit about your book that you have just came out with, and tell everybody about your book and where people can find it at.
Sure. Well, the title is Liver: My Journey of Transplant Survival. Now, I did kind of a play on words. The first four letters LIVE are in caps because
Mm-hmm.
the book is about how I have been able to live and make the most out of life from my experience. Um, and it pretty much follows me from when I was born to almost now. And there's some scary stuff in there. There's some humor. There's a little bit of love. My love story with my wife, and it's got all that kind of stuff. It's brutally honest. I didn't want to pull any punches. I wanted people to know exactly how I felt and what I went through. And I think it's a great story. And you talk about the support system, but that's another reason I wanted to do it, is to kind of recognize who helped me through all of this, and who are close to me in my life. So it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can get it digitally on a Kindle or a Nook. It's on Apple Books. There's a couple others. There's one in Canada called Kobo. It's available digitally through there.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's where you get it,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoy it.
I've put the website in the ticker down below.
Mhm.
Can you tell everybody what the name of your website is?
Sure, it's John's Transplant Journey. It's johnstransplantjourney.com is what it is.
Yeah.
I started that about a year ago, right around this time. And I did that, to start promoting the book, but also just to kind of to share and to give some insight into who I am and where I
Mm-hmm.
came from. I did a blog. I've not been keeping up with it. I feel bad about that. But there's probably 8 or 10 posts in there, and there's stories that they're in the book, but maybe told in a different way.
Yeah.
So just kind of a way to start to kind of introduce myself to the virtual community.
Yeah, I'm blogging as well with a group called kidneytrails.com.
Okay.
I never really considered myself an author
Mm,
or a writer, and I've wrote about 4 or 5 of these blogs now, and I noticed that
nice.
each time after the first one, each time the next one became a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
The third or fourth one, and now I kind of feel like I'm nowhere near a seasoned veteran writer or anything, but I feel like you get a little more comfortable once you
Mm-hmm.
start, utilizing your gift, especially if you feel like it's more of a gift than
Absolutely.
just a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you have something that you want to say, I think it's a great platform to be able to express yourself
Yep.
by way of blog.
Mm-hmm.
And also, getting involved with like writing a book. So when you got the idea about writing the book, how did you begin the process of wanting to do that?
I mean, it started very simply. I started Googling, how to write a book, and
Right, right.
I, and a lot of the feedback I got was, in my case, there was no way I was going to be able to write it myself. There's no way I could sit down and just, write a book. I got 3 kids. I got a full-time job. There's just no way. So what I did was it's kind of like a career builder for writers.
Hmm.
You put in what you're looking for, and they show you people in your area. And that's what I did. I picked out a woman who's done some medical writing in the past,
Hmm.
and I reached out to her, and she was happy to help me, and we got started. She interviewed me first, obviously, and then branched out to my parents, my aunts and uncles, my wife. I was able to get a hold of my gastroenterologist from when I was a kid, some nurses that took care of me when I was a baby. So there's definitely a lot of different points of view in there, and that's kind of how it went. She would
Yeah,
do some interviews, write a little, do some more. Obviously, I had final say on the tone and how it was written, but she was the one that did the legwork, so it was a really
yeah.
big deal.
Oh, all
Her name
right.
is Sandra Gordon, by the way. I want to give her props.
Sure. All right. Awesome. 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 Yeah. I mean, some people just don't have the time to really,
Mm,
focus just mainly full time on writing their story
hmm.
and by way of book. So definitely probably was the best way for you to
Absolutely.
get that done. And how did you decipher what points that you wanted to really make within your story? How did you figure out what you wanted to share in there?
Well, there were a lot of. I was fortunate enough to have uh, a lot of different either turning points or big moments in my life that I kind of highlighted. Between my sickness before my first transplant and some struggles in elementary school and my second transplant, and then moving on from there, I was able to kind of write out some bullet points, and then we kind of filled in the rest of it. So it
Yeah,
started with just those big moments, and then we were able to kind of draw.
yeah. If you have a moment in your book that you wanted to highlight on this interview, what moment or what highlight would you want to share with us inside the book that would be really interesting for people to know about?
Well, actually, I was just looking at that because I have an event with our local library on Thursday. So, and I
Hmm.
wanted to read an excerpt. So I actually picked the narrative of when the second time when I was in high school and I got the call. So that was kind of where I was. I can
Sure,
read a little if you want. That's up to you.
sure.
Do you have
Go
the
ahead.
time or
Oh
okay?
yeah, we have plenty of time. Go
Okay.
right ahead.
Let me open it up here. This is where did I put it? Let me move this over. There we go. All right, so this is from chapter 22. This is called The Call. At midsummer, June 30th, 1999, to be exact, we had been waiting for the call telling us a liver was available for 6 long months. That seemed more like forever when you were slowly wasting away. How much longer could this go on? Mom was frustrated and turned her focus to music to help. That night, she stayed up late practicing her flute because she was going to be recording a CD with a group of musicians. When she finally went to bed, she swallowed a Benadryl to tame her summer allergies. After sleeping with the beeper on her bedside table for the past 6 months, that night she decided to blow off the beeper. I just left the beeper on the table in the kitchen and went to bed, Mom said. At 2 a.m., wouldn't you know it, beep, 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 the pager did its thing again. However, Mom didn't hear hers because she was in bed, knocked out on Benadryl, with the beeper on the kitchen table. She's going to kill me. If no one picked up, there was a chance the liver would go to someone else. Beep, beep, beep. The hospital had a call list, and Mom was first on the list. Fortunately, the nurses at the Children's Hospital Pittsburgh had Grammy's telephone number too because we were headed to State College, Pennsylvania the next day for a visit. At 2 a.m., the ringing startled Grammy, and she rushed for the phone. It's Kathy from the Children's Hospital Pittsburgh, the caller said, explaining that she couldn't reach Mom. We have a liver for John, and he needs to be here by 7 a.m. That night, I was staying with Auntie Nan at her home in East Hampton, Connecticut, with Uncle Jed and my 9-year-old cousin Mike. From time to time, I like to sleep over there to hang out and watch movies. At 12:30 a.m., after watching American classics, Austin Powers and My Fellow Americans starring Jack Lemmon and James Garner, I'd gone to sleep in a twin bed in Mike's room. A little after 2 a.m., when Grammy called, Auntie Nan shook me awake. She had just received Grammy's phone call. John, wake up. It's time. They have a liver for you, Auntie Nan said. Auntie Nan tried to call Mom, but Mom's number just rang and rang. Nancy also called Dad, who answered, but was middle of the night confused. Nancy, huh? He mistakenly thought Auntie Nan was Nancy Etienne, Dr. Himes' lead nurse from Hartford Hospital. After the message was successfully relayed, Auntie Nan, Uncle Jed, my cousin Mike, and I piled into Auntie Nan's blue Ford Taurus station wagon and drove to Rocky Hill. The trip normally took about 25 minutes, but we got there in 15. When we arrived at Mom's house, it was dark and completely quiet. I walked into Mom's bedroom at 2:38 a.m. and whispered, Mom, wake up. They have a liver for me. I'll leave it there. It's kind of a cliffhanger.
Wow. Yeah, that was the age of pagers, right?
Yep.
Beepers.
Beepers. I was one of the few kids in school that got to carry around a beeper.
Yeah, I had quite a few of them.
Yeah.
So I remember them. They were as popular now as cell phones, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, yeah, all the cool kids had pagers or beepers. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I ended up having the one that had the words or something. You could text message something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So that's, man, that definitely pulls you in and reels you in. So if you come across this live interview and you're interested, you can definitely need to go check out John's brand new book. Again, we've talked about where you can find it. Also, the website's scrolling down there below at johnstransplantjourney.com. You can find that book, or at least the links where to buy it at. And man, it sounds like you've got a real inspiring story inside of that book, just by what you read. So definitely sounds awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, it's my life. So I tried to make it a little more dramatic than how it actually happened, but that's pretty much verbatim what happened.
Yeah. So, what I like to do is I like to give all of my guests an opportunity to kind of talk to people that are out there that are, kind of in your same shoes. Like, we talk a lot about patients that are battling kidney disease. So, we try to inspire them and, want to keep them in the journey and keep fighting and stuff like that. So if you had something that you could share possibly with someone out there that maybe just got diagnosed with liver disease, or maybe they're waiting on a transplant or something like that, if you had some words of wisdom for them or hope, what could you share with them today?
Well, I mean, there were a few things that I always tried to do, and the most important at the time was actually to try to be able to laugh at yourself, try to get some humor in there. There were times where I was in the hospital just sitting there and my mom or my dad was there, and you just couldn't help but laugh because things happen and there's no reason for it, and that's the only way you can kind of get through it, in my opinion. I mean, everybody handles things differently, but we were always good at laughing at ourselves. So that's find the humor in any situation, and also just to stay positive and stay the course, and reach out and find people that are supportive for you, and hopefully some people that are going through it that can help you through it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I think that's great advice. Staying people that are positive, and leaning upon your support groups, things like that. Especially if you got a strong connection to family, definitely I think is a great way of finding support. Friends, people like that are in your close network. But if you don't have that, I would definitely reach out to support groups, and your social worker or someone like that can help kind of direct you in that path. And a lot of local hospitals have some sort of support groups that they can direct you to, or some of them even internally have their own type of transplant supports or things like that for different things. So, man, it's been a great interview. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. It's been really inspirational. I guess before we close out the interview, is there anything else that you would like to share with us about your journey?
Well, I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah,
I could go on and on, but I want to be succinct. Leave some mystery there,
I hear you. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to let you give an opportunity to send a shout out to anybody that you'd like to say, hello or goodbye to, or or send a shout out to.
Oh, I say hey to my parents and my sister and my wife and my kids.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. It's always nice to be able to say, have them in your life. I know that, especially, with children, they're definitely a blessing, and it's a great thing to have them, in your life, and your wife, and still having your parents around as well is amazing. So, but again, John, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your inspiring story with us. And again, guys, we've shared with you where you can find the book. And what's the title of the book again, John?
It's Liver: My Journey of Transplant Survival.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like an awesome book, an awesome story, guys. You can go check it out. Go check out his website as well at John's transplantjourney.com. And we really, really appreciate John Hoffman for coming on and sharing his incredible journey with battling liver disease and also receiving two transplants. So awesome story, John. I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Absolutely.
And guys, again, if you would, please share this with all your friends and family. And again, we really appreciate all of our supporters, all of our people that commented on the show. Melissa Traylor, appreciate your support. Philip Harris Jones from Second Chance. Shout out to Philip Harris Jones for his support. Thank you very much, Rosetta McLeod, Jim Myers, and so many others. Thanks again to all of our supporters of Hope with Jonathan, Kyle Hawkridge, and Kidney Warrior Merch in Toronto, Canada. We really appreciate you. If you haven't already, go and check out, guys, www.hopewithjonathan.com. It will get you over to Kidney Warrior Merch's website, also kidneytrails.com's website. But again, guys, we really appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been another interview with Hope with Jonathan. You guys stay safe out there. God bless. Take care. Thanks again, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, go over to www.kidneywarriormerch.com. Submit your story today and get a shot at being the Warrior of the Month. If you're selected as the Warrior of the Month, you'll get a chance to interview with Hope with Jonathan podcast. Whether you're a kidney warrior, kidney dialysis patient, or even a kidney transplant patient, or maybe you've just been diagnosed with kidney disease, go over to www.kidneywarriormerch.com and submit your story today. Kidney Warrior Merch is a supporter of Hope with Jonathan podcast. Again, guys, that's www.kidneywarriormerch.com. KidneyTrails.com. Kidney Trails is an organization that is dedicated to helping those that may be facing kidney disease by education, inspiration, and motivation, by bringing real-life experience from those that have traveled the road of kidney disease, and also information from the medical professionals to help you on your journey. Guys, Kidney Trails offers blog writings from many different writers and authors who give an aspect and real life experiences with battling kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, and more. Guys, KidneyTrails.com has videos. They also offer a podcast called the Kidney Trails Podcast. And soon to be released, a comic book is coming out. Guys, for more information on this, go to www.kidneytrails.com. Thanks for tuning in to the Hope with Jonathan podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview with John Hoffman, two-time liver transplant recipient, author, and overall just a really great guy. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Inside of the links on the YouTube video, there'll be the description there of where you can find the book. We also discussed that during the interview, so if you listen to it, you can figure out pretty much where to find it. But man, John's got an incredible story, so I hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to that. Hey guys, if you like what we're doing over here on Hope with Jonathan, please go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's really easy and it's free, absolutely free, no fees associated with it at all. If you have a Gmail account, it's a very easy process. You just go over there and click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell and you'll be notified of all brand new content. And hey guys, again, really appreciate all your support. And also please go check us out over at hopewithjonathan.com. And appreciate everyone's support. You guys have been amazing. Without you guys, I won't continue doing these interviews, without you guys. You guys are the force behind it. So thanks again for being a loyal fan. And thanks again for listening to our podcast. I've noticed that our podcast is growing. Audio podcast is growing. Had a little moment there. Too much Halloween candy, I guess. But Again, guys, really appreciate you guys. And if I could, I'd reach out and give you guys. I guess I'll send you out a virtual hug. So virtual hugs right now to you guys, and to all the fellas out there. I'll give you guys a bro fist bump. So I'll give you a little fist bump, and ladies get a little side hug. And God bless you guys. You guys stay safe out there. Remember to love on everyone. Spread love. We live in a time and an era where we need more and more love. And God bless you guys. Y'all stay safe out there. And remember to take care of your kidneys. A simple blood test and urinalysis can save your life. Hey guys, also remember to spread the message about donating life. Because someone decided to sign the back of their driver's license, I'm able to call myself a grateful transplant recipient. But again, guys, stay safe out there. God bless you. This is Jonathan.